I will explain the rules of Refuge, a game for 2 to 4 players by Gérard Catillot, illustrated by Sepio, and edited by Bombaix. In Refuge, map out your walk using tiles, get new ones while keeping an eye on the weather. Prepare your walk route by choosing the tiles you want to play with. 3 routes are suggested in the rulebook with increasing levels of difficulty. Once the route has been determined, form 8 piles, each consisting of 4 identical tiles. Place the board game in the center of the table. Then create a pile of 5 reserve storm tiles and shuffle the weather tiles to make a face down draw pile. Place the 30-point victory tokens and the step tokens to the side. You'll choose a colour and take the corresponding bag. Place inside your refuge token and the 11 starting tiles of your colour. Add your score token to the 0 on the score track. Place your refuge tile in front of you and receive 2 step tokens. Finally, place a sheep in the pen to indicate that you are playing the first walk, the first of 5 rounds. Each walk consists of a variable number of turns, during which you will simultaneously draw tiles from your bag and place one in front of you. This forms your walk until you decide to return to your refuge or you are surprised by the storm. During a game turn, everybody will draw 2 tiles from their bag without looking at them. When everyone around the table has done the same thing, you reveal your 2 tiles simultaneously. Then choose one of the 2 tiles, adding it to your walk. The other tile will be put back into the bag at the end of the turn. If you draw a storm tile, add it immediately to the storm space on the weather track and add your second tile to your walk. If you draw 2 storm tiles, place them both on the weather track without adding any tiles to your walk. If one of your 2 tiles has this symbol, you have no choice and need to play it. If 2 tiles have this symbol, you choose which one to play this turn. Immediately apply the indicated effect on the bottom of the tile if it has one. You may, for example, gain some steps that you place into your reserve in front of you, or victory points that are added immediately to the score track on the board. You may also be obliged to play an additional tile. In this case, you can choose to play the second tile that you drew this turn, or draw a new tile from your bag which must be played. Then turn the tile over and place it in front of you so that it forms a line from left to right starting from your refuge. Then, if you wish, you can buy a tile and add it to your bag by spending the number of steps indicated. If several players desire the same tile but there are not enough for all the players, the player who is furthest behind on the score track gets to buy first. If there is a tie, the player with the least amount of steps is the one that can buy first. Once a new tile is added to your bag, reveal the top weather tile from the pile and place it in its corresponding place. If it is a storm, place it in the first empty space on the storm track. If it is a sun, place it into any empty sun space. If the weather pile is empty, place onto the board one of the reserve storm tiles. The weather is becoming more threatening. Now, check to see if a storm has hit. For this, compare the number of tiles on the storm track to the critical number according to the player count. A storm hits if there are 6 storm tiles revealed on the weather track with 2 players, 7 with 3 players, and 9 with 4 players. If there is no storm, return the tile that you haven't played back into your bag and start a new turn. When a storm feels too threatening, you can choose to return to your refuge. Your walk is over and you are assured to make points. To do so, instead of drawing 2 tiles, take the refuge token secretly into your hand and reveal it in the same fashion as the tiles. Place it on the bottom of the board on the refuge. You cannot buy any tiles, but you immediately score the points for the animals you observed on your walk. If you wish, you may also permanently discard a tile from those played in front of you and place the rest back into your bag except for your storm tiles, which will stay in place just until the end of the walk. Those who remain in the game continue their walk by playing their turns normally. If at the end of a turn a storm hits, the walk is over for everyone. If you have not returned to your refuge, you score no points and will have to pay 1 step for every forest tile played before you. There are 4 different ones. If you do not possess enough steps, you slide back on the score track 1 point for each step you are missing. The walk will always end if everyone has returned to their refuge or if a storm hits. In both cases, and with the exception of your refuge tile, all tiles are returned to your bag, including your storm tiles and your refuge token. Reform the weather tiles by mixing the 4 storm and the 4 sun tiles. Also, if needed, reform the pile of reserved storm tiles. Add a new sheep token to the pen and start a new walk. The game will end after the 5th walk, and the player who is furthest ahead on the score track wins. Enjoy your game.